Hey guys, I'm Jared Hustler, WBFF Pro Muscle Model. We're down here this afternoon at True Fitness here in Braeside in Melbourne. I'm here with one of my clients, Rigo. He's a week out from the WBFF Australian show. Today, we're going to be going through a posing tutorial for you males and let you know the difference between the muscle model and the fitness model categories. We're going to give you a breakdown as I haven't seen any tutorials on posing as it is. I'm going to give you a rundown on the different poses and the different categories and what you're looking for. We're going to talk about different federations and the differences between the posing. So, we're in the WBFF. Now, with our posing, it's different to other federations. Okay, we don't have any mandatory poses as such, but we do still have quarter turns. So you need to have good structured quarter turns because this is your judging rounds, okay? Now we're gonna go through those and then we're also gonna run you through a T-walk and how it's done, and then we'll show you a little bit of the almighty pose down and how that goes. So Rigo's 1 week out, he's pretty shredded, so we're gonna see what this rig looks like and get him to do some posing for us, and I'll talk you through it and you can get an understanding for what we're looking for. So Rigo's in the fitness model category. The difference between a fitness model and a muscle model is that when you pose, muscle models can have clenched fists, fitness models have to have open hands. Now, that doesn't mean that when you flow through your poses, you can't have clenched fists. It's when you strike and hit your final pose, your hands must be open. So first things, we're gonna go through our quarter turns, which in some federations you would call your mandatory poses. This is the judging round. So with quarter turns, we have our front on pose, then it'll be quarter turn to the right, quarter turn to the right to the back, quarter turn to the right, and then front on again. Now, let's start off with our front poses. We're looking for 2 or 3 different poses that are your best 2 or 3 poses in the front pose. Now you'll see as Rigo's posing, he's opening his feet up nice and wide. So having a wide base makes your waist look more narrow. Again, opening those shoulders up, popping a hand onto the hip, that'll again make your waist look smaller. Now for some of the bigger guys out there like myself, I actually turn my hips a little bit away on stage so I don't stand front on. Now we're going to go through some more quarter turns. We're going to get Rigo to do a quarter turn to the right. So he's standing front on, now he's standing side on. Now in this side on position, there's multiple different poses that you can hit. You can hit a hand on the hip, you can go then into, one arm up into a bicep. From there, we can put one hand up behind the head and go into a bit of an ab pose, and then throw another hand up and flex the bicep again. Now this is all dependent on what looks good on you and what you like to see in the mirror. As within the WBFF, we allow you to pose the way you like. So what you see in a mirror and what you like, that's what we want you to bring to the stage and to display your best physique in the way that you want to display it. Now let's do some quarter turns again and go to the back poses, and we'll run through some of them. So again, we want those feet wide, opening up that stance, and then we go into our first, let's say, relaxed pose. This would be a bit of a lat spread, and then we would come up into a double bicep. There we go. And then from there we can come down around again and go into one hand up behind the head and one hand into bicep flex. Now some guys like opening up and going into both hands up above their head, going for like a bit of a thriller look as well, or hitting like what Rigo's just done there with the 2 fists behind the head. The main thing that we need to look at here is that we are always flexed, even though we may look like we're not. We need to keep that back nice and open, staying as flexed as possible while making it look like we're not flexing too hard. Now Rigo's going to go into a quarter turn again to the right and going to hit a few more side poses for us. All right, as you can see, Rigo's got that hand on the hip, making him look wider through the top while keeping that waist nice and tight. So keeping your hips pointing this way while you're turning your upper body towards the camera or to the stage, you know, that's making that waist look a lot smaller than it actually is. Although Rigo has quite a tiny waist, I'll give him that, he's accentuating it, and it's all a game of angles here, gentlemen. So angles, angles, angles. Work on your poses, work on the way that you point your feet, work on the way you point your hips, work on where you put your chest and your shoulders, opening your lats up. It's all a game of angles. Now Rigo's going into some different foot poses here, putting his legs in a different angle. Now because he's got such a tiny waist, he can get away with different foot positionings. And again, this is all dependent on how you look and what you like the best. Let's go through what a T-walk is and what that entails. So when we do a T-walk, we come out usually on the right hand of stage. Now, I'm going to talk from the Gold Coast venue point of view, that being the Star Casino on the Gold Coast here in Australia. Now, we enter from, if I'm looking the right hand side of stage, if I'm looking at the stage, that would be the left hand side of stage for you standing on stage. Now you enter, you walk out into the middle, then you walk down, and it's a T-walk. So you hit a spot in the middle, you then go to the right, we walk across, we hit another spot, then we turn around, walk all the way back across to the other side of stage, hit again, and then line up. Now, when it comes to a T-walk, we're looking at 2 to 3 poses in each spot. Now, when you want to do your T-walk, you want the 2 or 3 of your best poses. Now, you put your 2, 3 best poses in the center, and then you put your 2, 3 other poses on the side, and then you pick whatever you want again, another 2 or 3 poses here, and then you line up at the back. Now, when you're standing at the back, guys, this isn't a part where you relax, let your guts hang out, having fun. We stay at attention. We still stand nice and structured, holding our poses, and still moving in the background. So we're going to get Rigo to go through a mock T-walk so you understand what we're looking for. So as we come out, he walks out on stage, he hits his first spot. Now this is just a hold. Then he walks down stage to the front and center. Now this is where you want your 3 best poses. You want to really light it up, show the judges and the crowd what you've got. He's bringing a good rig, guys. Can't wait to see this guy hit the stage. And then we're going across, turning to the right of stage, walking across for our next 3 poses. Again, you just make it up. Do what poses suit your physique the best. Now once he's hit his 3 poses over there, he'll come to this side of stage and hit 3 poses here. Now he's finished, he goes and lines up at the back of stage, and then we wait. Usually goes 10 people at a time come out, and the judges will do their thing, and that is however the show's run. But guys, that's just a general breakdown on how the WBFF posing is done. I hope this has been informative, and I hope you've enjoyed it.